Hi everyone, welcome to Otaku Saga. I'm DK.
I'm Rizzo.
And I'm Zero, and today in Anime Reaction, watch the first episode of elDLIVE.
If you want to check out our reaction to the first episode of elDLIVE, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comment section, because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching. So the first thing that jumps out at me about this series is the fucking transitions. Holy shit.
Pants.
Not only that, but like they're all over the place. So it'll have like the character and then it'll do like a close-up.
Close-up and then like...
in pastel.
Actually like rotate the frame.
Yeah.
Very, very edgy. Kind of reminds me of like... Alright, so you know the opening card, or the titles, opening credits rather, for Saved by the Bell? That's what that whole, like, internal exposition we get when, what's his name? Chuta's explaining his condition. That's what that reminded me of.
But we also get the transition where it's like the checkerboard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Checkerboards come in.
Sort of.
They kind of roll out.
I don't know. It's really kind of bizarre animation. Or like there's the part where he's up in space, you know, and you get like Lane Brick. God, I'll never get over that name. You get the director popping up, and then you get another one of the people popping up, and then you get another one popping up over that, where they each have a line or whatever. I don't know. It's just really. I haven't seen that kind of animation in a while. I don't think.
And have I.
Probably since Space Dandy.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the obvious with the alien character designs, a lot of the visual elements do remind me of Space Dandy. A little bit garish, but not too much so, I don't think.
But I feel bad. I feel bad for our main guy.
I know,
Chuta.
right? Oh, it's real hard luck case.
Oh man. Grew up talking to himself.
Social outcast, and the voice in his head contributed to a really bad childhood memory on top of it.
And
not to mention, on top of that, he's a very negative person as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, going through all that kind of.
And the voice in the head, you know, it gets him in trouble all the fucking time.
That's a real
well,
case.
I think his biggest problem is that he can't seem to ignore it. So, like, the voice in his head talks to him, during class, and he talks back to it during class.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Out loud, and therefore annoys the teacher.
Or if he tries to keep quiet, then it keeps talking to him, so he can't focus on anything else either.
Yeah.
Which, again, doesn't help.
Yeah.
Damn. That's annoying.
Poor guy.
And on top, it's a fucking mascot. Makes it 1,000% worse.
Yeah, but it's voiced by Rie Kumagiya.
It's a mascot.
It's not a tsundere. Now, if she did, what's her face, Misuzu?
But that one's done by Sori Hayami.
A roll in good hands.
Can't kick that one.
Right.
Damn. All right.
Anyway, let's see. I guess we should do a little bit of a recap. So basically, guy has a really shitty life.
Yeah, and you know it.
And you know it. And then while doing household chores, he gets teleported into a spaceship.
Because he's been chosen by a supercomputer, of all things, to join a intergalactic police force called elDLIVE. Title drop.
I like how every time they teleport him, he always ends up upside down.
Right on his head. At least he doesn't end up with his head backwards like Mel Brooks in Spaceballs.
What if it's because they're? What if it's because they think that the other thing, the Griffith thing?
Oh, okay.
What if that's the actual head?
So he sleeps upside down inside him. If that's the case, like a bat.
Creepy.
Interesting thought.
But But yeah, so you get the classic, let's show him that he's in space thing, and put him in a spacesuit and
Launch him right out the air hatch.
throw him out of the airlock.
And then they ask him, and they basically exploit him. Because when he refuses, they're like, if a mechanical accident were to happen, he was deprived of his oxygen, we won't get in trouble.
Yeah, I can totally hear you.
But so he agrees to take the test.
Only after a familiar voice decided to completely berate him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fucking roasted.
Yeah.
Multiple times through this episode, by the way, but
Yeah.
I think Sayori Hayami is now the princess of Sundara. The rate she's going.
But so he's sent back to Earth to arrest an alien, which just so happens to not only reside in his town, but is actually masquerading as a teacher at his school.
Who, I'm surprised still had a job, considering how close she's been with her students.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out, when we see her earlier in the episode, she has 2 students. When we see her later in the episode, there's only 1.
She ate the other one.
She ate. I hesitate to call it a she at this point. It ate the other one.
It ate the other one.
Makes the blob look tame.
Any, 50s B movie.
Well, I was actually talking about the
Monster.
X-Men blob.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so then we find out that the voice, the creature that's inside Chuta, can sense some sort of energy, I guess.
Call it what? SPH?
SPH? Yeah.
But the little creature thinks it's oil.
Yeah, it thinks it smells like oil.
Hmm.
And that's how he figures out that the teacher is actually a giant blob alien.
Well, not before Chuta's little habit enrages, said teacher, and actually that's what it reminds me of. Turns him basically into a palette-swapped Bebop. Or wait, no, was Bebop the Rhino or was that Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I wouldn't know.
I think it was Bebop that was the boar with the flat top.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Anyway,
Unfortunately.
comment section, please correct me. It's been forever since I even touched that. So.
Yeah, then we get a short fight, and we discover that Chuta can, I guess, the way that he fights with the creature is by thinking of something and it becoming a reality.
Imagination.
So Chuta thinks of when he was sewing up dust rags for his aunt, and uses the ability to sew the creature's fat around its head and arms.
Don't knock it if it works. It worked pretty
That was
well.
weird as shit.
That was weird as shit. That was this anime. Weird as shit.
Well, think about it this way, though. If the inspiration for his attacks come from domestic household tasks, that could be fucking brutal. I mean, imagine your skin gets sewn together and you're constricted. Or imagine if he remembers baking something, says he lives in a bakery. You roast your opponents alive. This guy's gonna be fucking dangerous.
So he bases his attack on household chores.
Yeah, and it's not only painful, it makes it more humiliating.
So you're saying that he's really gonna clean up the streets.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We now know the Muffin Man.
Miss Muffin Man.
All right, because it's animals. But
My only problem with this anime is not actually the mascot character itself, but where it comes from.
Well, technically, during the when they're before the mascot character reveals itself, it's shown that there's a spot, I guess, of that energy, that SPH, that moves all over his body. So I think the mascot thing can go all over his body. For some reason, it just decides to poke right out of his, like, right through his stomach.
And I'm now convinced that is direct homage to Alien.
Oh no, not
annoying.
again. It is really annoying.
It is annoying, but I can sort of expect it because it was the movie Alien was like a massive success in Japan, like a huge, big time following over there. So,
Well, if you're doing a symbiotic relationship, that is probably the worst place for you to be.
that is true. But
Like maybe out the back would be better. Looking
Out
over
the
his shoulder.
back,
in the
out
hand,
the
like Vampire Hunter D,
shoulder.
that'd be nice. But
Yeah, I don't
Because
On the
where
shoulder
it's
would be
at where it's at right there just makes running a pain in the ass. You're going to end up punching your mascot. I mean your partner.
That's the point.
I'll actually, you know what? All those years of revenge, you can actually
Right.
take it. And then the obvious one, a few frames in the opening, it looks like an erection from certain angles.
Yes. That's awkward.
I had to bring that up. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so he catches the alien, passes the test, gets teleported back to the spaceship, and then he meets the familiar voice who hates him, and it turns out to be his crush, Misuzu. And I have to say that the introduction scene on the spaceship was really funny, where he gets teleported upside down, of course, and then she walks up and it's like you hear music, and then the music like starts to die out when it stops at her skirt.
Yeah, just a
I
slight
thought that
dip.
was really funny.
That's
Yeah,
a
just
nice
that slight
touch.
dip in the music.
But next episode's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I bring up the symbiotic relationship again because I did enjoy what was it, Jing, King of Thieves.
Oh, okay.
You know the symbiotic
Bandit King
relationships.
Jin.
Yeah, Bandit King. The symbiotic relationship there, fits better. I don't really look at a bunch of those more symbiotic relationship things. The last one that closest thing to it would probably be Digimon that I really enjoyed, and that's a little different.
Yeah, the one that always sticks out in my head, in my mind, in my hand is Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
And I find that one to be really annoying. Like, I don't like where they have that placed at all. It seems like, oh, hey, let me just grab a...
Right. I mean, what if you start going at it with the wrong hand?
You had to go there.
I had to go.
Had to go there. Before we sign off, I did want to say this is probably my least favorite out of the stuff that we've watched so far this season.
Really? Okay.
I think that I could agree with that. For what we've watched so far,
Yeah.
I think it still has
Potential.
Potential. I think it'll find its stride a little later on, if it does.
Please move, Drew.
Please. For the love of God. But yeah, just out of the ones that we've watched so far, this one's probably my least favorite, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. It just means that I enjoyed it less than all the other ones that we've watched.
Yeah, our season's pretty loaded with good stuff so far, actually. So
Yeah, surprisingly loaded.
So this could be maybe middle of the road or so. So if that's like the bottom tier of the season so far, then we are in for a pretty good season, guys.
Yep.
Anyway.
So yeah, let us know what you thought of the anime, what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep, thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo.
See you next time.
And go ahead and click on my face to go to our most recent Otaku Saga talks.
Click on my face to go to Otaku Saga Gaming, our gaming channel.
And click on the waifu to subscribe to Otaku Saga and check out our new and improved Patreon page.